Good morning. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making a classic Italian soup, zuppa Toscana. It's one of my favorites. It'll be one of your favorites too. Come with me. Let's have some fun in the kitchen and I'll show you how it's done. The first step is to brown your sausage. Brown, drain, and set aside. While your sausage is browning, go ahead and cut your Yukon Gold potatoes in halves or chunks, whichever your preference. Then you're going to remove your sausage from the pan and drain, and then add the red onion and diced garlic. I love red onion. I love that Italians use so much of it in their cooking. Red onions are versatile, both raw or cooked. Any way you like them, they're wonderful. We're going to let the onions and garlic saute in the pan until translucent. Notice I'm using a non-stick pan. That matters. Let me explain why. When using a recipe that contains tomatoes, never use a non-stick pot or pan. Always use stainless or cast iron. Here's why. The acidity in the tomatoes will react negatively when making contact with the non-stick surface. That reaction will affect the flavor profile, the consistency, and the color, and it will rob your tomatoes of the richness that they deserve. The onions and garlic are now translucent, so we're going to sprinkle in our flour. Going to season it with our salt and pepper and stir. As you can see, this thickens it nicely. Now we're going to add our chicken stock. We've added our potatoes and enough water to cover the potatoes. We'll turn the heat up to medium-high and let it begin to cook the potatoes. At this point, we're going to add our sausage back in also. So as the potatoes cook, all the other flavors can marry. It will take about 25 minutes for the potatoes to cook through. During the last 15 minutes of cooking, we added our kale. Then we removed it from the heat once the kale was tender. Set it aside for about 10 minutes, then we added our heavy cream. The soup is now done. It's delicious, it smells wonderful, tastes wonderful. This will definitely wow your friends and family. Okay, so we've got our soup made. Now let's backtrack a little bit and talk about the ingredients. First of all, let's talk about potatoes. Does it matter what type of potato you use in whatever dish you're cooking? It absolutely does. In this dish, you want to use Yukon Gold or red potatoes. Those are called waxy or mealy potatoes. Yukon Gold, red potatoes. Some people call them new potatoes. They're called waxy potatoes because they have a shine on the outside, almost as if they've been coated with wax. These have less starch in them, so they hold up better under long, enduring, intense heat, and they maintain their shape in cubes or slices or whatever you prefer. In this case, we've used chunks. We've cut them in half. The other potatoes is a starchy potato, which is a russet or a baking potato like this. Like their name implies, they're very rough on the outside. They're really high in starch, so they break down quickly, which makes them an ideal potato for mashed potatoes or any time you want a creamy potato. Not only is the taste different in a waxy or a starchy potato, but the texture is different. If you attempt to make mashed potatoes from a waxy potato, a Yukon Gold or a red or new potato, you're not going to get the consistency you want. They don't have enough starch in them to break down into a creaminess, whereas a russet, even a baked potato, will. Now the difference in russet and baked potatoes, although they're both considered starchy, a baked potato does hold up better because, number one, you haven't sliced into it, it's whole, which is why you have to poke holes into it to allow some heat into it for the baking process. So there's the difference in the potatoes. The next thing I want to talk about is the kale in this recipe. When possible, always buy fresh vegetables. Don't buy the pre-bagged greens. Here's why. Greens are a living organism, and when you cut them, they think they're being attacked. I know it sounds silly, but it's true. And all of their fighting power in the form of nutrients rush to their leaves to fight whatever's eating it, a cow or whatever they think is attacking it. Those nutrients last for about 24 hours. After that length of time, the nutrients are thawed out, they've died, and you've lost that window of time in achieving those nutrients in the cooking process. If you buy them fresh yourself, then you cut them just before you eat them, and you've got full benefit of all those nutrients. If you buy them pre-bagged, pre-packaged in the store, there's no way to know how long it's been since they were cultivated, harvested. They've been on a boat, they've been on a truck, they've been bagged at a processing plant, whatever the case may be, and I assure you they have no nutritional content by that time. So there's the scoop, so to speak, on potatoes and on the kale. This is a delicious soup. It's easy to make in 25 minutes or so or less, so it's fast and easy for the working family, whoever, and it's absolutely delicious, not to mention nutritious. So this is our Zuppa Toscana, served, plated nicely with 2 slices of Italian bread, ready to devour. It's delicious. And there you have it, Zuppa Toscana. I'm pairing our Zuppa Toscana with a nice bottle of McManus Viognier. A Viognier is one of my favorite wines. It's a wine that goes with everything, so no matter what you're cooking or no matter what the host is preparing, you need to take a bottle of wine. A Viognier is a good choice because it pairs well with almost everything. Don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on upcoming videos. Until then, thank you for watching. Salute!